Part 1, Network Security. Welcome to LA Boot Camps. Mastering Cybersecurity. Part 1, Network Security.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Cybersecurity webinar, Part 1 and Part 2. We'll just start with Network Security, Cybersecurity webinar series jointly certificate by LA Bootcamp Private Limited and Chetna's Hazelnut Somani College of Commerce and Economics. I'm Pranay from LA Group of Companies into implementation and training representing LA Bootcamps Private Limited. Today we'll together demonstrate a cyber security attack and defense lab. This project will perform in 2 stages. The stage will be conducted in a virtual environment using VM workstation. This will help us to understand how attacks work in a safe and isolated environment. The second stage will be performed using physical devices and a firewall, like every physical device, you can say routers such as firewall or the routing devices, etc. This will showcase us the understanding how enterprise, how in outside real examples, how it works. Okay, so we will just test some type of attack, try to secure them. We'll do monitoring using Wireshark, prevent attacks using security controls. The object of this project is to understand the complete attack life cycle, including recognize service access, brute force, the scan, DOS attack, DDoS attack, traffic analysis, and security control. Okay, so before starting to the cybersecurity seminar, I just give an intro about networking, because networking is the most important thing. We have to understand how real networking works. So we're using a Cisco packet tracer for that. So Cisco packet tracer is similar to type in which you can use routers such as you can understand cables, how to connect devices, how to assign IP address, how to make a network connectivity, everything you can do in that packet tracer. This in physical and virtual, there's a little bit difference about the ports and all, but here you can do everything you want. If you want to learn, you can use this packet tracer also. So we'll just start with small networking using one router, 2 switches, and 2 PCs. So as you can see, this is my Cisco packet tracer. First, there is a network device option is there. Below that, there is a router option. If you click on the router, you will get some list of some routers. So what are the difference in this router? Port difference is there. Like some will be having Ethernet port. Ethernet port means less speed. You're getting speed of less than 2 Mbps or 3 Mbps. There is another port, it's fast Ethernet port, and that speed will be little higher. It will be 20 to 30 Mbps. And after that, there is a third port, last port, which is GigaNet port. In that, the speed will be 1 Gbps, 2 Gbps. So it's not exact speed. I'm just giving example of that speed. So there are many ports like console port. If I want to access the router switches directly without assigning IP address, okay, first time when I purchase a router switches, I have to assign IP address to that. So for that, we need a console port in that case. So there is one power port to give the power to the your router, and there is an aux port for backup port. If anything happens to your router switches, if the IP address is not assigned properly, that time you need a backup port in that case, which is the aux port. Basically, you have console port also, but if you want a graphical interface, in that case, you can use the aux port. So we will be using a router. The serial number is 2811. At last, you can see there is a serial router, which is 2811. You can pick that router, just click on that, and you can click on the blank space. The router will be placed. If you want to change the name of the router, just click on the router 0 part. There you can change any name you can give. I just give router 1 here. After that, right side the router, you're having a switch option here. Click on the switches. Similarly, you're having multiple options in the switches. So in switches, there are 2 types. One is L2 switches and second is L3 switches. So what is the main difference in that? What is the mode of the router? Why we use router? To connect multiple networks. Okay. But if you don't want to use router, because router gives wireless connectivity, router uses NAT network to change from public IP to private IP. But if you don't want to use router, you can use L3 switches. But there's a disadvantage in that case. Like L3 switches doesn't convert your IP address from public to private. So if you want to use NAT, if you want to convert your public to private IP, in that case you can use a router. If you don't want, you can use your L3 switch. The second advantage in L3 switch, you get multiple ports, 24 ports, 16 ports, 8 ports. But in router, you're just getting 4 ports option, and one is here from where the internet is coming. So I will be taking L2 switches because I don't want to do routing because I have a router placed. So I will take 2950T, the switch. Again, in switches, there are options of Ethernet, fast Ethernet, and Giganet port. I'm taking 2 switches here. After that, above the switch, you will be getting an option of end devices, and that you can just click on that. You'll be getting some end devices option. End devices, what comes? Your server, your PC, your laptops, your phones, everything. So you can just pick up a PC or a laptop, whatever you want. And just click one PC here, just second PC, and just place it here. Now there is a cable option, the fourth option in the first column. Just click on that cable. In cable, you have multiple options. First, you have automatic connectivity cable. In practical life, this cable is not present, but in packet traces, this cable is there to choose the automatic port. Okay, and there are two main ports which we use in practical life. There is a copper straight through cable, and a second one is the copper crossover cable. So the copper crossover cable we use to connect same devices like router to router, switch L3 to switch to L3 switch, L2 switch to L2 switch. Whatever same devices are there, you can use this copper crossover cable. If you want to use connect different devices, you can use a straight cable in that case. So here, all these devices are different. I want to connect one router to switch and a PC to a single switch. So I can use a straight cable here. Just click on that cable, click on the router. I will select the first port, which is 0S0. This is FE port, which is the middle one after the Ethernet and before the Giganet port. Select the first port, click on the switch. You can select any port for whatever you want. I'll just select the first port here. After that, I will go to again the port option, select the switch. I will select the second port here. Click on this PC, select the first port. In PC, you just have one single port only, which is your fast Ethernet. But you can modify your PC if you want more than one port. So now again, if I select Giganet port in the router and fast Ethernet port in the switch, what will happen? Nothing will happen, but it's necessary. Like Giganet is giving you speed of 1 Gbps to 2 Gbps, and fast Ethernet port is giving you the speed of less than Gbps. So it's like if the speed will be vary, which port is lower. So the speed will be coming in fast Ethernet only. So you just prefer that both the ports should be in same. If you are using Ethernet, the both should be put in the Ethernet only. If you are preferring fast Ethernet, then the both ports should be in fast Ethernet only. So now I just select the cable again. Yeah, I'm audible to you. I think the voice was cracking in between. Okay, so left side it's clear now. Now we'll do right side part. We'll select the router again. We'll select 0/1 port. We'll go to the switch, click on the switch, select the first port here. After that, we'll go to the cable option again. We'll select the switch, click on the port 0/2 and select this PC. Now, as we can see, thus from switch to PC, it's a green color. It means that devices are connected properly. On right side, the PC is green and the switch port is orange because just now we connect. If we take some time or if we don't want to use time, you can just skip this time. So it will be green automatically. So it's like this is L2 switch. We don't have to assign IP address in this case. So the PC and switch will directly get connected to each other without assigning any IP address. But if you see from switch to router, there is the port is in red color. It means the cable is connected properly. The cable is no issue, but they are not interconnected with each other. Why? Because I don't have assigned IP address to the router itself. That's why the ports are in red color. So I have to assign IP address in both the ports. After that, it will go to the green color. It means it will activated. So I'll click on the router. So this is my physical page. Here there are multiple ports option. So by default, if I just click on here in the blank space, I just move my cursor on the router. I won't click here. If I move my router to the my cursor to the router, I can see three ports there. First is fast Ethernet 0/0, and second is fast Ethernet 0/1, and third is VLAN 1. We don't talk about the VLAN 1. So we are having two port right now. If you want to add extra ports, you can go to the router and you can select any module you want. So there are some changes in this module. There are different types of module are there. Some module supports FE, some modules are having two FE ports, some modules are having 2 giganet port, some modules are having console port. So you can just move and drag, and you just can drag this and put it here. So that port will be added. We won't do this right now because we just wanted two ports, and that's we are having that. We go to the config part. In configuration, I can assign IP address to that ports, whatever I want. But we won't do here the configuration because we won't do configuration here because in Cisco, the graphical part is not present in some devices, so will not prefer the graphical part. Will prefer command line because in many Cisco switches and router, GUI part is not there. So we prefer the command line only. It's better for that. So I'll go to the CLI option. Here I can do everything whatever I want. I can assign IP address, I can do routing, I can do VLAN, whatever router can does, I can do everything by command line. Okay. So I just click here. It's asking, would you like to enter? Okay, so it's asking, would you like to enter the initial configuration dialog? Yes or no? So what is the initial configuration? It means we have assigned the IP address, but it's like we want to assign, we just want to view what IP is assigned, what configuration we have done. But now we don't have done anything right now. So we don't want to move to the initial configuration. We want to move to the terminal mode, which is the command line version. Every system has a command line, like Windows has a CMD, Linux has a terminal. So your router has a configuration terminal mode. So you just click on here and select no option here. Okay. So now I just zoom in so that you can see clearly. I just zoom this. So if you want to zoom, you can go to the option, then go to the preference, and go to the font option. You can change the CLI size so that you can see clear visibilities. Just click on the 13 size is better. Apply. Yeah, now it's clear. Okay, so now we are in the configuration terminal mode. So it's router greater than sign. So this sign means it is enabled. Like in this command, in this mode, we can just view whatever we want to view. Some commands we can use this. But if I want to edit, if I want to give commands, if I want to assign IP address to that, so in this mode, we cannot give. So we have to enable it for that. which for we'll write just en. You can just write enable, or you can write a short form of en. So now this is the router hash mode. This is the user mode. So in user mode also, you can just use some multiple commands, but here also you cannot change or edit the router to assign IP address or to routing in that case. So we'll go to the configuration terminal mode. That's why we, in the first starting of that, we select no in that case, because we want to go to the configuration terminal mode. So you are writing CONF space T. So this is the short form for configuration terminal. Just press enter here. Now you can see router bracket config. It means this is in your configuration mode. Now you can assign IP address to the port, whatever port you want. Okay, so I'm having two ports here, which is 0/0 and 0/1. I'll be selecting 0/0 port. Command is int. Int means interface. You can write short form, or you can just write full form interface also. Int and the port name which you want to select. It's F0/0. Press enter. Now I will assigning IP address to that port. So command for that is IP address. Okay. Now what IP address you have to give? So mainly there are three types of IP address: A class, B class, and C class. So the IP address A class start from 00 to 126, and the B class start from 128 to 160. So we'll be giving a C class IP address. So just make it bigger so that you can see properly. 192.168.1.1. You can take any IP address you want. It's not necessary you could take this IP address only, but this is C class IP address. So in this C class IP address, the first three bits. So there are 4 bits: 192.168.1.1. So these are total 4 octet. It's been 4 bits. So the first 3 octet should be same. And the last octet should be changing. It's like the router will be having 192.168.1. If you're assigning 1.1, then all the PC's system should be having 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. The first 3 octet has to be same in that case. After that, we will be giving subnet mask. Subnet mask will be 255.255.255.0. So here there are 3 255, means first 3 octet will be same in this case. That's why I've given 3 255 subnet mask. Just press enter. Now I've set the IP address, but I have to on the router mode on for that first port, because if I just write the IP address, the router port won't be on. So I have to on that port. You are done with this? You can take any IP address. Okay, just don't take 1 point. If you want to take, you can take that IP address. If you don't want, you can change the IPS, but prefer you can take C class only, so that you won't make mistake in this case. Just take 2 minutes to complete this. So I'm giving one poll to you. Just you can take 40 seconds in that case to answer that. How many of you completed the previous? Just let me know. So we are having some certificates. Like I just tell you about the certificate. Okay. So this certificate will award it to the participant who have scored 50% or above in the post-webinar assessment. Second, we'll be giving you certification of participant. Okay. So this is the award. This certificate will award it to the participant who attend the webinar and complete the webinar successfully and have done all the tasks which I have told. Secondly, a short one-line assessment will be conducted at the end of the webinar. So please complete that. Okay, now I just give a recap of what we have done till now. We have connected all these devices, okay, and I've given IP address to the left part. If I go to the router, I've selected a port F0/0. After that, I've given the command IP address and the IP address what I want, and after that 255 subnet mask of the C class. So now the IP address has been assigned to that port, but the port is currently off in off stage. So to on that, I will just give the command no shut. So now you can clearly see the message like interface F0/0 has changed state to up. Line protocol interface has changed state to up. It means that the port is now on. I can just travel my packets from PC1 to whatever port I want. Here you can see if I skip the time, both the ports are now in green color. It means the port is successfully on. But the right side is in red state. It means the right side port is in non-active state. I have to assign IP address on that port, and after that only the port will be on. For that, I will again go to the router. I will select that port, second port. It's like INT F0/1. Press enter. I will assigning IP address to that port. IP address while giving IP address 192.168.2.1. So here I have given a different network ID because in routers I cannot give same network ID to that port. I have to give a different network ID to every port. But in switch I can give same network ID. So I have given 2.1 because in every port, as I've told you, I have to give different network ID only. But in switch, I have to give same network ID. It's like the routing devices. What are the routing devices? The router, L3 switch, firewall, gateway. It's a routing devices. And routing devices, each port should have different network ID. But the devices which are not routing, which is L2 switch hub, has to be in same network ID only. Your endpoint devices will be in the same network ID only. So 2.1 subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. This is the C class IP address and the subnet mask is 255.255.255. Just press enter. IP address has been assigned. Now I will be doing the port status to on. For that, I will be writing command no. The full form is no shutdown. I can write in short form. It's like no shut. Just press enter. So wait for 20 seconds to change the port to on. Or you can skip this time so that it will be automatically green. I will go to the PC, click on the desktop. Now we have done the router assigning part, but now we have to assign IP address to the particular PC. Then only both the PC can exchange data with each other. So now we'll click on that PC, we'll open the PC, we'll go to the desktop option. Above you can see five options: physical, config, desktop, programming, and attributes. Clicking on the desktop option, and after clicking the desktop option, you can see multiple options here. But now what's necessary, I have to assign IP address to the particular port. For that, I will be selecting the IP configuration option. So here I'm having two options here, which is the DHCP and static. So what is DHCP? This is a default dynamic host control protocol. It means I get IP address automatically. You can see in your home internet or your mobile phone, you don't assign IP address. You get manual IP address or default IP address in that case. Similarly to your Wi-Fi, if you're using Wi-Fi in your laptop or your phone, you get the default dynamic IP address. Like you don't have to assign a static IP address. So we always have two options, which is DHCP and one is second is static. So now we're giving a static option, static IP address to this first PC. So the IP address will be 192.168.1. So in the left part, my router IP address was 192.168.1.1. As it was C class IP address, so the first three octet will be same. I can only change the last octet. But if it was of P class IP address, in that class, I can change the last two octet. So here I'm using a C class IP address, so I can just only change the last octet. So I can give 2, 3, 4 any IP address I want except one. Why not one? Because one has been already assigned to the router. I just give 2 here, press tab, automatically subnet smart will be taken by this PC. I press pass tab again. In the default gateway, what is a default gateway basically? Default gateway is the IP address of that router which is connected to that PC. So in my case, my PC is connected to the switch and switch is connected to the router F0/0. So for this PC, the default gateway will be the IP address of that 0/0 port. So the IP address is 192.168.1.1. So my left part PC, the work has been done properly. So I will move to the second right side part. I will close this terminal. I'll open the second PC. No need to save here. It will get saved automatically. In second PC, I will go to the desktop option. I will click the IP configuration part. The static part is already selected. Now, here I will be giving IP address of that right side part. So see, 192.168. But right side, I have given IP address to that port as 192.168.2.1. Okay, so that's why I will be giving 192.168.2.2 because 2.1 is already assigned. If I was having a third port and third port, I will be giving 192.168, 3.1, 4. Whatever IP address I can give. But the PC connected to that port, the third or three, the first three octet will be same. It shouldn't be different. But the last octet you can change as you want. So you can give 2 or 3 or 4, whatever I want. But I'm giving a zero point 0.2 IP address. Click tab button. Again tab, subnet mask has taken automatically. Now you have to give default gateway in this case. So as I told you previous, what is the default gateway for the PC? It will be the PC which is connected to the router port. So the PC is connected to which port? It's 0/0. So the default gateway to this PC will be the IP address of that 0/ port, which is 192.168.2.1. So now my both work has been done properly. I've assigned everything what I have to do to make this network work properly. So how will I check whether it is working or not? So for that, I can use a ping activity here. So for ping activity, I have to use the command prompt, which is the terminal code for this Windows machine. I will close this. I will open the PC number one, go to the command prompt, not terminal, go to the command prompt here. So this is the command prompt. I can check whether second machine is active or not, connected properly or not. So for that, I will using a protocol which is known as ping command. So ping is a protocol is used to check the connectivity, it's working or not working properly. So after that writing ping command, I will be giving the IP address of the second PC, second Windows machine to check whether they can communicate with me properly or not. So the IP address of the second PC is 192.168.2.2 it is. Just press enter, just wait for some time or you can just skip this time here. So whenever you try to ping time, first packet will be request timeout only because it checks the route, which route it is having. So the first packet or first two packet or first three packet, sometimes they get dropped depending upon the distance, how many routers are there between two PCs. So don't worry about that. Sometimes it get dropped or sometimes it get won't drop. So here my first packet has been dropped and the three packets have replied successfully. So what is the reply? Reply from 2.2, which means from the second PC I've got a reply. So what is a ping command basically? First PC will send a request which is known as ICMP request to the PC and the PC will be giving me the reply which is ICMP echo. So this packet is the ICMP echo in this case. So reply from bits equal to 32 is the IPv4 address and IPv4 is 4 octet and every octet is having 8 bits. So 8 into 4, 32 bits. Time equals to 1 milliseconds. How much time it is taking to reach the destination and when the destination is sending back the packet again. It's 1 millisecond because it's short distance. Okay. After that, it is giving information like how many packets I've sent, how many packets I've received, how many packets is lost. So if I ping again, every packet should ping properly, every packet should reach a destination, and every packet should give me reply. No loss should be happen, 0% loss should happen. So I'll just press the up arrow key again, press enter. So now you can see every 4 packets are reaching the destination. So you can verify by the second PC also. Open the second PC, open the command prompt, you can write ping command here. IP address of the first PC 192.168.1.2. So you can see every packets are going successfully. No loss ratio is there. So with this, we have completed our first thing, which is networking basic configuration. Just take some 2 to 5 minutes to complete this. After that, we can start with the next topic here. Okay, so now we get quick recap of what we have done till now. So we have taken first PC, two PCs here, two switches here, one router here. Left side, I've assigned IP address. I can just write the IP address here so that you can understand properly. So the left side, I've given IP address 1.1. Right side, I've assigned 192.168.2.1. So I've taken different network address because the but the devices which are connected to the switch should have the same IP address only. So every routing devices should have different network IP address, and the devices which are not routing, so they should have the same IP network IP address or not same IP address, same network ID. Whatever same network ID it is. In a class, the first octet is the network ID. The first octet should be same in every endpoint device. If you're using a B class, the first two octets should be same. And if it is C class, the first three octets should be same. So here I'm using a C class IP address, so the first three octets should be same in this case. So what we have done, we have just assigned the IP address in the router itself. So we have selected the port 0/0. We have assigned IP address 1.1 and a subnet mask. And after that, I've given no shut command to make the port status on. After that, I will select the second port here. I will assign IP address 2.1 subnet mask, and after that, I've given no shut to change the port status from off to on. Okay, was my router part. Now in PC, I've assigned IP address here, which is to 1.2 and the default gateway 1.1. What is the default gateway? The PC which is connected to the port of the router is a default gateway for that PC. So this PC is connected with the port number 1, which is 0/0. So for this PC, the default gateway will be 0/0 IP address, which is 192.168.1.1. And the second PC, I have given IP address which is 2.2, the default gateway is 1.1. Similarly, as the first case, a PC which is connected to that port which is having 0/1, so this PC will have the default gateway of this 0/1 port, which is 192.168.0.1. So after the configuration, I have how to check. So I have checked by using the ping command here. I have pinged from PC1 to PC2, and after that from PC2 to PC1 to check the connectivity which has happened. Or you can do one more thing. You can go to this option here, which is the message option. You can click this message, click on the first feature, which is the sender, and click to the second destination PC. So click here and go to the simulation part. Click on the simulation, click this play sign. You can see my packet is going from PC0 to a switch. Click this skip option. Now my packet is going from switch to router, and after that click option. Now packet is going from router to switch. Again play option, and the switch is going packet to PC. So you can see there are types. All the ports are ICMP requests. It means like how the connection is going from which route the packets are going. We can see it properly. So I click this option again. So now this is my ICMP echo reply. The piece is giving a reply to that machine. Click the play option again. Again display option, and after again display option. So successfully my conversation has been completed properly. So this was my first topic which I have completed. I have given a recap of that. So now I will be giving you a poll which you can take 40 seconds to complete that. So the poll is here. Okay, so now we are starting the second topic, which is cybersecurity. So now in this case, we will do some type of attack and try to protect that. So our first attack will be Nmap scan. So what is Nmap? Basically, Nmap is a tool which is used to scan any IP address to find the vulnerabilities, to find open ports and protocols. So what are ports and protocols? These are particular services which are used in the internet to do the work properly. Second will be after scanning, we will be getting some type of services and ports and protocol. So which will be so we'll try to access that ports and protocols. So in this second type, we have already told you to install FTP and SSH. So we can try to access these FTP and SSH ports and protocol and try to bypass this using a brute force attack. So third will be brute force. Okay. Fourth and last will be a DOS attack, which is denial of service attack. So what will be a configuration? We'll try to scan from PC number 1 and try to see in the PC number 2, which is your defender. Okay. So we're using two applications here to see in the defender machine, which is your Wireshark. So this application is already installed in Linux, but in Windows we have to install this. So why are you using Wireshark? Because whenever the attacker tries to attack in your victim machine, so in victim machine, this application will track every packets which are traveling from your system or coming to your system. So similarly, we'll try to attack first and see what is happening in your application, Wireshark, and after that we'll try to block that. After that, we'll try to do brute force attack. We'll try to access the FTP and SSH first attack. After attack, how the attack is working, and we'll try to defend that. So for all these four attacks, we're doing this same way. But first, we will doing a virtual way so that you can also do that. So virtual app experience, we cannot defend every attacks. We'll try to defend as many attacks we can. But for that, if you I want to defend every attacks possible, so that I have to use a practical devices or practical firewall in that case. So now we're gonna use a virtual. You're gonna use the VM application, which is known as virtual machine. So you can use any application you want, which is a virtual box, which is a Oracle one, or any Microsoft application. So why we use VM? Well, to host the operating system. If I'm having only one PC, in that PC I have to install multiple operating system. So I'm having two options: whether I can boot my PC into multiple OS, but at that time I can only use one PC at a time, OS at a time. But if I want to use multiple operating system, in that case, I have to use an application which can host multiple OS. So this you can see as a hyper application, because this application help us to install multiple OS and use that multiple OS at a same time. So we're using a virtual machine in that case. Just logged into your Linux. So this is my attacker machine, which is Kali. I'm having one more machine, which is Windows. This is my defender machine. So as we know, why we use Kali? Because Kali have every tool which is used for ethical hacking. Okay, whatever tools we want for hacking, I can use everything is installed in the Kali. But if some tools are not there, we can install that. Secondly, Kali Linux is and Kali is an open source tool. We can download it freely. Okay, so first I will be checking the IP address of both the machine of my Windows as well as the Kali. For Kali, I just zoom it. So now you can see properly. For Kali, I will be using command ifconfig to see the IP address of the machine. So my IP address is 192.168.52.30. Every IP address, every one IP address will be differ in this case because every internet is differ. So I'm having a C class IP address here. It means first few octet should be same. But if I go to the Windows machine, both the machine are in same network. If I go to the command prompt, cmd, right, IP config. So here I'm having 0.100. So you can see first three octet are same. Why? Because it is a C class IP address. The default gateway, it means the PCs which are connected to the router is having zero point 0.2 IP address. So in Linux, if you want to check the default gateway, you can write IP root. So here you can see 192.168.52.2. It is your default gateway. So both the default gateways are same. So now our first attack is scanning. Scanning is the most important thing before attacking PC because scanning will help us to try to find out what are the vulnerabilities, what are the ports and protocols open, what services it is using, what machine it is using, what kind of version it is having, which protocol has which version, what vulnerabilities, what ID password I can use in that case to try to attack that machine. So for scanning, there are many types in that case. Full scan, TCP scan, UDP scan, SYN scan. Okay, so now we'll be performing a TCP scan in this. So for TCP scan, the command is, so first we'll try to log into the root. In Windows, we are having admin user. In Linux, we are having a root user so that it won't block me in any case. Because this Kali is a normal user, it will be blocking you in some cases. So prefer we using a root user so that it will my work will be working smoothly. So for that, I will switching the user like sudo su enter and password is by default Kali. Password is not visible. Okay, if you type the password, you have to type the password properly correctly. The password is not visible. The password is in hidden form. So now as you can see root at red Kali, it is in red form. It means I've successfully logged into the root user. So now I will first doing the scanning part. Nmap hyphen small s capital S. So hyphen small s capital S means it is a TCP scan, which means when I scan the IP address, it will show me only the TCP port. Rest of the all the ports will be hidden. Only TCP ports will be there. As you know, there are two type of protocols, UDP and TCP. UDP is used for live thing. If you want to host if you're watching any YouTube video live, if you're gaming, if you're doing anything live, so UDP protocol work in that case. If we are using, if something is stored already, in that case, TCP protocol is used. So hyphen small is capital N means I just want to scan only TCP ports. After that, hyphen P means Okay, so hyphen p hyphen means show me all the TCP port which are there. Okay, so if I won't write hyphen p hyphen, it won't show me all the TCP ports. Some port will be missed out by the scan. So just you prefer every time writing this hyphen p hyphen attribute so that every port will be visible, whatever TCP port the machine is having. So it won't miss out any single port in that case. After that, IP address of the victim machine. So my attacker machine IP address is, as you can see, about 192.168.52.30. It is my attacker machine IP, and the victim machine IP address is 192.168.52.100. So I have to write here the victim machine IP address because I want to scan the victim machine here. 192.168.52.100. So my scanning has been started. Just press enter again to check how much time it will take. So it is saying me around 48 seconds. For someone, the time will be differ. For someone, it will be showing 1 minute, for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So let's just take a 4 minute buffer time so that you can just do the scanning part. Maximum 4 minutes it will take. For someone, it will take less than 4 minutes. So just we can just wait for the 4 minutes. Let everyone complete the scan. So till now, till this, let everyone complete. We can just give a question. Okay. You too. ports are SMB port. Okay, I think you have done with your scanning part. We have we have taken more than 5 minutes. Okay, as we can see, we have get some several ports and protocol which are there available here. Okay, so from in this scan, you may be knowing some ports. So there are FTP port, SH port. After that, there's MSPLC port, NetBIOS port, Microsoft DS. So basically, these three ports, MSP, NetBIOS, and Microsoft, these are SME port, which are used to share the file. If I'm from Windows, I'm sharing some file. So this SMB port is being used, which is on network file sharing. For that and network file sharing, SMB protocol is being used. So in my Windows machine, I have shared some file. That's why the SMB port is there. Kali, KALI. It won't be visible after SU sudo SU. It means you're changing the user. You can just write KALI, which is not visible. You can write just press enter. After the next, you can write Nmap. You can see in my screen here Nmap space hyphen small s capital S space hyphen p hyphen and the IP address of that victim machine, which is the Windows machine. This IP address, you can do this thing. fantastic ahead. So in the bracket, I've given a command in the chat box, nmap hyphen smallest capital S hyphen p hyphen. After that, I've written bracket IP. So don't write bracket inside IP. Write IP address of your victim machine. Don't write the bracket. Okay. So now we'll do this process again to check what is the impact happening in the Windows machine. So now we'll open the Windows machine here. In the Windows machine, I hope you have installed Wireshark there. So open the Wireshark application in your Windows, VM Windows, okay, not your base machine Windows. So whatever we are doing here, we're doing inside the VM only. So in Windows, click the Windows button and open the Wireshark. Click mouse inside so that if whatever keyboards input you are giving, it will impact inside the VM only. Open the Wireshark. So as I already told you, why we use Wireshark? Wireshark is used to capture every packets which are traveling from your computer itself. Just take 30 seconds till you just open your Wireshark. Okay, I hope you have opened your Wireshark. In that, now we are getting some several option here. First is Ethernet, local Ethernet, adapter Ethernet. Some may be getting Wi-Fi option. So just ignore rest of the option. We just concentrate on the two option. If you are getting Wi-Fi, it's fine. If you're not getting Wi-Fi, it's also fine. You have to see the only Ethernet option here. Why? Because your VM is well. If your Windows is connected to Wi-Fi, but your VM is connected to your main Windows machine. So every machine are physically connected to your Windows machine. So you have to select the Ethernet option because it's physically connected to your VM Windows machine. So we'll be selecting the Ethernet option. So here you will getting several options here, several scans. So what is a Wireshark is showing you the test estimated time. Source means from where the packet is coming, and destination is where the packet is going. Secondly, protocol, which protocol it is using, and info. It's like what the packet is doing, what the protocol is doing. So this is the info column. So now what we are going to do, we have done the scanning part. We'll do that process again. We'll do scanning part from the attacker machine and we'll capture the packets in the Wireshark application. So go to your Linux machine again, right here Kali. I just press up arrow key so that the previous command will be shown, or you can write the command again, both is fine. Just press enter again. Let's press enter again to check the time. Okay, so first time your scan is completed. Second time it's not necessary you have to complete the scan. You just have to start the scan. Okay, till now it's like I'm in my machine. It's 10% has completed, so it's not necessary you have to complete the scan. What you want to do? We have to capture the packets in the Windows machine inside the Wireshark. We'll now go to the Wireshark application in Windows. So here you can see there are multiple red packets which are RST and ACK packets. So basically, these are the flags. Okay, SYN packet is used to get a request flag. After that, there is a ACK packet. ACK is the acknowledgement. Packets here. Okay, I'll just show you in my notepad here. Okay, so there are some flags. You have to understand that first. SYN is used to get a request. Send a request to the destination. So if you say SYN packets in your server, in your Wireshark, it means someone is sending request for data flow or for some other purpose. After that is ACK packet. It means it is sending information or acceptance from your side. If you see ACK packet in your Wireshark, it means my machine is sending request to the machine which is sending me SYN packets. If you see FIN or RST, it means the process has been done properly of termination. Like whatever the request has been sent, my machine has given the reply of that and process is terminated. So that's why we're able to see this much port. So you can see there are SYN port, there are ACK port. If I try to scan the particular port, right, IP, ADDR, I'll write my victim machine IP address 162.52. See what's my IP address 52.130. You have to write attacker machine IP address because it is sending the packet 130. See, if you can see here properly, my source, which is 130, it is sending me a packet to my destination, which is my victim, for SYN packet has been assigned. And my machine is sending RST and acknowledgement packet. It means it is sending a reply and at the same time it is terminating that session. If, for example, you can see I'm asking for some information, and the server, the victim machine, is giving me the information, and it is closing the session at the same time. After that, next packet has been released, information has been received, and the session has been closed. So whenever every packet is been sent, the information will be received and the session is closed. So this is the process how the scanning works. But if I want to block the scanning process, I cannot block the scanning process from this Windows machine. As I already told you, this is my virtual experience. Virtual machines are there. So if I want to block the scanning process, I won't want to block that someone want to scan me and they can get information about my system. I cannot do that. For that, I need to have some physical firewall of some physical devices to block that particular scanning part. But I can do one thing. I can block the protocols. So in my case, what protocols it's shown in my Windows machine, it's that FTP, SSH, and SME port. I can close this port so that the machine won't be able to see which port I'm having. I can do this thing, but I cannot block that scanning part. But if you want to block, you should have a physical firewall or physical IDS or IPS in this case. Okay, so my first topic has been completed now. You can just take time, 5 minutes to complete this. Or if there is any doubt, you can just tell me. Okay, we'll start the next step, which is the FTP. As I have done scanning, I've got FTP and SH port open. I hope you have got the ports open, or if not, we will just move forward. Okay, so now we'll try to access the FTP port and try to brute force on this FTP port number, which is a protocol. So first we'll try to access that port. So the command is FTP and the IP address of that victim machine, which is 192.168.52.100. Press enter. Yeah, so we are getting access of the FTP port. So it is saying connected to the 192.168.100. 220 is the confirmation code that we have already connected, which is asking me login ID and password. If I type the login ID password, it means I'm successfully connected to the FTP port and number. So before I've already told you to create a user ID and password for this particular. So I think hope we have made a list of password and a user ID so we can brute force on this particular FTP port. So just cancel So just cancel the scanning process. For you can just write Control C. In that case, the scanning process will be completed, and the IP which I have taken is my Windows victim IP. Okay, like the second machine which I have installed in my VMware. So you can take that IP address. Control C to cancel the process, scanning process. So FTP full form is File Transfer Protocol. Okay, so you can just logged into the FTP. I'm having a user with the name FTP-user. You must be having with a different name, whatever user you have created in your Windows machine. Again, I am saying this IP address which I have written here, it is my Windows machine, this second Windows machine. Your Windows machine, it will be different. So just make sure that. Okay, so enter, write the write the password here. Again, the password won't be visible. You have to write the proper password here. So I've successfully logged in to the FTP user. So now I will show you how to brute force on the FTP protocol. So for that, I will be using Hydra tool to do brute force attack. So how to use this command Hydra tool? You should have to write Hydra hyphen small l and the username you want to use FTP hyphen user hyphen capital P. So here the command means if you have a proper username, you can write small l. If you don't have a proper username, you want to upload a list, in that case, you have to write capital L. If you're having a proper username, you can write small l. Okay, I know what my password it is, but I have created a small list. I'll just show you my list. Let's just do ls here. You can see I have a small list with the name of the pass. If I open that list, cat and pass to read the file. So a small list it is, started 1, 2, 3, it is my password, and remaining 4 other random number alphabets I have taken. So now I will be using Hydra tool to do brute force attack. Hydra hyphen small l, because I know the user ID, FTP hyphen user space hyphen capital P because I will be using this pass file as a brute force attack. So I have to give the full location of that particular file. Slash home slash kali slash pass. So this location is where my pass file is located. If you want to check where your pass file is located, you can open another terminal. You can do ls here. You can see my pass file is there in this folder. You can do pwd to check what is the location of that pass file. So you can see slash home slash kali. After that, the file is there. That's why I have given here the location is my slash home slash kali in pass file. In your system, it must be different. So before writing this command, you just check what your location is, what your file location it is. After that only you can write this. If you write a wrong location, your brute force attack won't work. So better write the correct location where your file is present from start to end. I hope you have completed till here. Okay, so like we will start with the next topic. I will be sending you all the notes to you after the completion of this. You can just practice it later on. I'm just giving every big commands on that. You can do that perfectly. Okay, now we're doing the brute force attack on the FTP user. So I've given Hydra hyphen L, the username hyphen capital P because I want to add a list in that case. And after that, which protocol I want to attack, it is FTP. So I will be writing here FTP colon 2 / and the IP address of the victim machine, which is my Windows VMware machine 192.168.52.100. Enter. Okay, you can see my brute force has been done. So here you can see that it has picked the right password here. FTP user, previously I mentioned here, like I know my user ID, I just don't know the password, which is the correct password. That's why I've given a list here, which is known as pass, which is known as the pass. Okay. And after that, try 1, 2, 3. So my Hydra tool has done the brute force and it told me which is the correct password in this list. So my correct password is FTP user. Now what will be the reflection? This is my attacker point of view. So my what will be the reflection in the victim machine? So for that, we'll go to my Windows machine here. I will open the Wireshark in here. If your Wireshark is already open, you please close the Wireshark and we'll open that again to capture everything. We'll select Ethernet 0. We'll go to the DBN again. So I just click up arrow key and run the brute force command again. Press enter. I will be going to the Windows machine. Now, what will I search here to check what the attacker machine has done to my victim machine? I will search here FTP because I've used FTP protocol. So it's just FTP here. Press enter. So you can check your first 4 protocol means my FTP service is active and someone wants to connect to my FTP user. So here I've in attacker, I try to access that FTP user 3 times. This is my first time, this is my second time, and this is my fourth time. So I try to access the FTP user at many times, it will show me the response here. So this first 4 packets are like someone is trying to access my FTP user and I'm giving response to that attacker machine. So that's where you can see this is a source IP and a destination IP. It means my Windows machine IP is 100.100 and 0.30 IP is Linux machine. So I'm giving reply like Windows is giving reply to the Linux machine that my FT protocol is active. You can successfully connect it. After that, the 3 packets are like what is the username. So machine is giving Linux is giving a list of user ID to check whether this user ID will fit or not. And after that, my Windows machine is saying that password is required for that username. So whatever password I've tried here, like there are 4 to 5 passwords were there. So you can see here there are first tried 1, 2, 3 DFE FW. So this password were tried by the Linux machine. So you can see the reflection in this Wireshark. So by this method, I can just track down what the attacker machine is trying to do with my machine. So now this was attack, a brute force attack. So now what will we do to secure the FTP attack? In scanning, I cannot block that, but in FTP, I can do a security in that case. What will I do? I will make a firewall rule because firewall is already installed in my Windows machine, it's pre-installed. I can make a rule in that case to block the FTP protocol if someone tries to connect to the FTP protocol, if someone tries to brute force with that FTP protocol. Okay, so I will block that FTP protocol so that someone will not able to connect to my FTP protocol here. Okay, so here you've seen the response what the attacker have done. So what I will do here now, what is the like security in this case? How will I protect my machine, victim machine, from this brute force attack? So I know that my FTP port is open. Anyone can do brute force in that, and if someone is trying to do brute force, he can access my machine. So how to block this? So in firewall, I will make a rule so that no one can access my FTP protocol. I will block the FTP protocol completely. So how will I do that? I just click the search button here. I will search Windows, so firewall status. First, I will on my both the firewall. In this option, turn Windows Defender on and off. Click this option. On this both, click OK. Close it. Okay, I close this Wireshark also. Stop, quit and see. Okay, I will open firewall. I will search firewall. I will be selecting Windows Defender Firewall here. Or you can just select Windows Defender Firewall with advanced security. First, I select this check firewall status. In that, I on the firewall. If your firewall is off, you can on it. If it's previously on, it's fine. Don't touch that option. If it's off, you can on that. After that, open the Windows Firewall with advanced security. Click this option. Now you can see there are two type of rules: inbound rules and outbound rule. In left, you can see here. What is inbound rules? The packets which are coming to my machine are known as inbound rules, and the packets which are going from a machine there are outbound rules. So what I want to secure, no one tries to enter to my machine through the FTP protocol. So what is that rule? It is a inbound rule. So I will make a rule in inbound rule of FTP block. I will go to the inbound. Right side, you can see there you're getting option of new rule. When you click on the new rule option, you can get four options there. One is program, second is port, third is predefined, and fourth is custom rule. So here what we want to do, we have want to block the FTP port number. So we'll be selecting second option, which is the port number. Like the next option, now we want to select which port it is. What scan we have done? We have done a TCP scan here. So I will be selecting TCP. Down here, specific 21. So I'll write it 21. Next, what I want to do, first is allow connection, second is allow the connection. getting three options here. Allow the connection if it's secure, and third is block the connection. What we'll select, we want to block the connection. So we'll be selecting block the connection option. Select next. All the three options will be check mark, domain, private, and public. Select next here. You can give any name here. I will just give it a rule name TP. Or finish. Okay, my rule has been properly. Now I will try whether this rule is working or not. If I go to my Linux machine again, okay. Till then, I just explain you this dashboard of this. So this is a physical firewall dashboard. I will let you know about show you the physical firewall also. This is the physical dashboard of firewall. So here also we can block something. So in virtual we are using Windows firewall option. But if there is any physical term, so for that I'll just explain your diagram. in virtual machine, what we are doing, this was my Kali machine, and this was my Windows machine. So whatever I want to block, I have to go to the Windows machine, and inside this firewall, I was making a rule in this case. But if it scanning part, some things doesn't block here. So for that, I need some physical firewall in that case, which will in between this two devices, and this device will block me the packets which are coming from attacker to Windows machine. So this is my dashboard of this firewall. Okay, so what is the dashboard? Basically telling me the IP address of the firewall. If I go to the network option here, go to the interface, this is my IP address which are assigned to my machine. So I have taken here two machines here, which is my Ethernet 1/1, it is my attacker machine. Second is my victim machine, which is 20202021, which is my victim machine. And my firewall IP is 192.168.1.10. So this firewall will act as a defender in this case. So I don't have to configure anything in this Windows machine. So this firewall is enough to block all the outcome packets which are coming from outside to the internet. As you can see here at the right side, you can see the security zone. Security zone is out. It means this IP, it is outside network. For second, 2020-21, it is my inside network. Okay, and there is another out, which is /1/3, which is the port is coming from the internet. So this is my physical setup. So in some cases, like I can block FTP protocol, I can block SH port number, but I cannot block N scanning, I cannot block DOS attack, and cannot block any several attacks. For that, I need a physical firewall, or physical IDS, or physical IPS in that case. So there are several companies here. I'm using a Palo Alto one, which is the serial number is P8820. You can use Sophos also, you can use FortiGate, any firewall you want. I hope you have done with the virtual rule part. You have made a rule in that case. Okay, so now we will so now we'll again continue with the FTP part only. So what we have done till now here, we have created a rule here FTP so that we have to block all the incoming traffics which is coming inside the machine. Whoever try to access my machine with the help of FTP protocol, they won't be able to access now. So let's just try whether this rule is working or not. I'll go to my Linux machine. I will just write here FTP /100. It's rendering, it's not working here. If I try to brute force in this, so it's just loading in this case, nothing is happening here. It means my rule is successfully working. But here there is a disadvantage. Every system FT protocol will be blocked. No one can access my FT protocol. But if I want to allow someone to use my FTP protocol, I cannot do that. So that's why we have to use a physical device. In this, I can assign which device can access, which device cannot access. But in virtual, we cannot do that. So as you see, my brute force attack has failed because the FTP port is blocked. Now we'll go to the second topic, which is the SSH protocol. Okay, so now start with the second topic, SSH protocol. SSH is secure protocol. Okay, so now we'll try to access SSH protocol here. SSH. So here we cannot write the IP address directly for every protocol. There is different login commands. So SSH, after SSH, you have to mention the username you want to log in. So FTP hyphen user at the rate same IP address of that your victim machine, which is your Windows machine, 192.168.52.100. Okay, I can log into this machine. It's if I write yes, it's asking me password. It means I can access the SSH protocol. Because while scanning, I was getting two main protocol, which is FTP and SSH. So I will try to do brute force on the SSH. I will use the same script here. You can use up arrow key to view the previous command. I will just change the FTP to SSH. But before running this brute force, and if I run this brute force, I will get the correct ID and password. Okay, this was for SSH. But how will it reflect in your Windows Wireshark? I want to see that. So load the previous command again. Don't press enter. Go to your Windows machine. Open the Wireshark here. Select Ethernet again. Now go to your DBN machine. Press enter. Let the brute force done properly. It has shown me for SH port number 22. For this IP address, the correct login is FTP user and password is try@123. We'll go to the Windows machine again. Previous for FTP, we have searched FTP. For SH, we will search it SSH. Press enter here. So you can see SSH, there are many protocols because FTP is a non-secure protocol. The secure version is TFTP there or SFTP. But SH is a secure protocol and this unsecure protocol is Telnet protocol. So in this case, you can see there are first two protocols where first two for connection. After that, keys were exchanged. It means it is asking permission to connect. And below, you can see there are several packets which are trying to connect to the SSH and the brute force. These are all the brute force attack. In FTP, you were available. You can the password was visible. Whatever the brute force password was there, you can view that password. But in SSH, you cannot see that because every text is encrypted here. That's why it is a secure protocol. If you're using Telnet, it won't show the password, but because it is a non-secure protocol. And SSH is a secure protocol. That's why every packets are blocked. You cannot view the password from the Wireshark itself. Same as for HTTP and HTTPS. You can view the HTTP, whatever in HTTP you are doing in Wireshark, but in HTTPS you cannot view because it is a secure protocol. So whatever this, if you're using a secure protocol to communicate between two devices, the data will be protected, data will be encrypted. You cannot view that. So now I will try to block this SSH protocol also. So I will be going to the Windows Advanced Firewall where I've created a rule. I'll go to the new rule option, go to the port, click next here because SSH is a TCP port number only. I click select the TCP option, select the specified local ports. SSH port number is 22. And write 22 here. Press next. I want to block the connection. I will be selecting the block the connection option. Select desktop here. Three option will be tick mark next. I'm giving SSH here. Finish. Now my rule is successfully passed. Now we'll be checking whether this my rule is working or not from the attacker machine. I will be going to the Debian machine. Will try to connect with the same SSH. Yeah, it's loading. It means my rule is successfully working. I will try to do brute force. And this, my brute force has started, but it's not working. It means my rule is successfully logged in. Same thing again. For the SSH protocol has been completely blocked from the Windows point of view. No one can access. But if I want to give access for a certain machine, I cannot give that. For that, I need a physical firewall, any device in that case, to particular give permission to a single device, or if I want to block for a single IP address, I can do that only in physical device only. Virtual environment, I cannot do that. Everyone will be blocked. In Wireshark, you can see what are the packets here. If I go to the SH, enter, you can see the keys were exchanged, but nothing were done in this case. So here we have completed the third topic of SSH protocol. Okay, so third topic has been completed. We'll start with the last topic, which is the DOS attack. Okay, we'll go to the Linux. We close the Wireshark for now. For DOS attack, we have two options here. We can use the pre-installed tool SynFlood, or we can use some HPing tool. So what is it basically DOS attack? It is DOS attack send multiple SYN packets. What is SYN packet? Then I have already told you SYN packet means request packet. Server will send multiple requests. The client server will gather this request and try to examine what is a request, what security we have to give. But at the single time, it can only check one packet. But what the DOS attack does, it will send multiple millions of packets. So the client was not able to handle the request and get crashed. So now we'll see how to send a DOS attack and how to protect it. So for now, we'll be using a tool which is known as HPing tool and the IP address of the victim machine. If your HPing is not working, we have another option which is the pre-installed tool, which is a SynFlood. You can open your MSF console. On this MSF console, we have multiple resources tools. So we'll search for the particular tool, which is known as SynFlood. So we'll type search and type the tool name, which is SynFlood. Press enter. Now we'll be using this tool name. Okay, right? Use space 0. So now this tool has been activated. You can see in bracket auxiliary bracket DOS TCP SynFlood. So this particular tool has been activated. So now there's a main thing, we have to set the victim IP address, then only this tool will be working. So we'll be trying to set the IP address of the victim machine. Set our host, the victim machine IP address 192.168.52.100. We'll press enter here. After that, we want to start the attack. We'll press run. Before starting the attack, we'll open the victim machine. We'll open the Wireshark here. Normal packets are transferred. Now we'll type run here and press enter. We'll go to the Windows machine. Now you can see there are multiple SYN packets only there. When we were doing scanning process, there were two packets. There were two packets, which were SYN and ACK. But in DOS attack, only SYN packets are traveling. It means only request form is going on and the client server has been loaded. Client has been loaded. If you want to check, we can give a one more through. We'll close the attack here. You see why my Wireshark is running properly, no packet is being captured. If I open Task Manager, Click on the performance. So here my CPU usage is around 3%, 10% it is going. Okay, you can see 5%, 4% is minimum. If I start it DOS attack, the load will be going to the CPU and my CPU usage will be increased. I will click the run again, press enter and check the Windows machine. So my CPU usage pops up from 4 to 5% to 30%. It means my CPU is getting loaded. So this was the basic example of DOS attack, how it has been worked. If 2 or 3 people try to do the DOS attack, then my CPU usage will be crashed. So if single person is doing that attack, it is known as DOS attack, denial of service. If multiple people are doing at one system, it is known as denial of distributed denial of service attack, which is known as DDoS attack. So now this was the attack. If someone want to secure from this attack, they have to use a proper firewall security. In that case, I will be showing you in between the attacker and the victim to make a proper rule to protect from this DOS attack. Okay, so we have completed the 4 tasks also. Just putting a poll on the screen. Okay, so till now what we have done the scanning part first. In scanning, what we get the FT protocol, we get the SH protocol, and we'll try to access the FT protocol. We try to access the SH protocol. We have done the brute force attack on the protocol. We'll try to protect from the in the SH protocol, FT protocol, and after that we have done the last was as a DOS attack. So if I go to my Wireshark again, if there are around less packets are there, 1,000, 2,000 packets are there, so it will be in white color. If there are lakhs of packets are traveling, then the Wireshark will be able to know that someone is doing DOS attack, so it will denote me in black color. It means it is a DOS attack is happening in my machine. Just wait till you complete the task. Okay, so now we'll be seeing the physical devices which is present there. So this is a physical Palo Alto device which we are using for the protection case. So now you can see this as this cord is connected to /1/3, which is coming to from internet. From this port we are getting internet, and this up wire is the /1/1, which is a attacker machine. And the below wire, it is below this wire, it is connected to 1/2, which is a defender machine. And this is the MGMT port from which I'm able to access the firewall graphical interface. Okay, so this is the port which is 1/3, which is coming from the internet from ISP, as you can see in the diagram. This is the port which is 1/1, which is the port from which my attacker machine is connected. Below the cord is connected to 1/2, which is from which the defender machine is there. And this is the MGMT port from which I'm able to access the firewall. So this whole is the firewall machine from which I can make the process of this attack and defense. From this, I'm getting my ISP address, this is my firewall, and my attacker machine and defender machine is connected so that whatever I want to block from this machine, I will block from this firewall so that this machine cannot access this services, whether it's DOS attack, whether it's Nmap scanning, or whatever it is. So now we'll be doing in the physical devices. So I have here three devices are there. In my case, my first device, this is my attacker device, this is my defender device, and this laptop is my from which I am able to access the whole firewall. So we'll start with this practical setup. Okay, so this is my interface of the firewall, which I already explained to you in the physical part. So I have connected the firewall through the MGMT port, so I can explain from here also. This is my 1/1 port, and IP is 10.10.10.10.1. This is my physical firewall IP address, and the machine is getting 10.10.10.2. This is my 10.10.10.1, and I have a second port here, which is IP is 20.20.20.21, and so you can see second port 20.20.21, and the IP address is 4.20.20. And I'm having a third port from which I'm getting the internet, which is on DHCP. So this was my interface. And right side you can see security zone, in which zone it is being present in zone or out zone. So my first is my attacker machine. So it is my out zone, and this is my inner machine. This is my inner zone. This is my defender. This is my attacker. So now I will perform this 4 attacks now in physical device, and I will show you how to block this from the firewall. Okay, now see, we will see. Okay, now we will see in the physical Palo Alto device. Okay, so how will protect in this Palo Alto firewall? Firewall. Uh, so I've already explained you about the ports and protocol. So now how we can protect my device from this? So I can create a policies here. So it's a policy here. So as you can see, there are two policies already I have made. First is the FTP block. So what is the FTP block? And it is given a name of FTP block. The source is from out zone. Like the packet, whatever coming from the out zone are blocked completely and what destination inside. So whatever the packets are coming from out are completely blocked. It means if there are PCs which internally 5 PCs are present, they can access the FTP, but outside PC cannot access. Okay, what application it is? It is a FTP protocol, and the action is block. So this way in firewall you can block the FTP. If you go for the SSH, in SSH you can assign the IP. In both the protocol you can assign the IP address also. In source are given the outside network, outside which network? This machine IP address. If there is another machine IP address, it is they can access internal, they can access, but this machine cannot access. And in the destination, which machine? This machine IP address. And after that, what is the application? It is SSH, and the action is to deny. In this way, we can block the FTP and SSH. So now, how to block the scanning part? For that, we can go to the network part here. We can, after that, we go to the zone protection. In zone protection, we can create a protection here. We go to the protection I've already created here. We can block the SYN because I've told you in DOS attack which packets are released, flags are released, are SYN packet, request packet. I can select the SYN packets and with the help of the SYN packets, I can completely block the DOS attack part. If I want to block the scanning part, TCP scanning part, I will go to the records protection and I will enable this TCP port scan. In this, I will change the action to alert from to block. What will happen? No one can able to access my scan my system. So in this way, I can block whatever services, whatever application, whatever threat, everything I can block using a physical firewall. So that's why a physical firewall device is very important in this case. In virtual, we cannot do everything. Okay, so we have completed with this. So the final conclusion is through this project, we demonstrate the cyber attack lifecycle in both virtual and the physical environments. We perform recognition attack, service annulation, brute force attack, and denial of service attack and distributed denial of service attack. We analyze traffic using Wireshark and observe how security controls can detect, monitor, alert, and block malicious activity. And how can we block that particular activity and protocols. So this demonstrate the importance helps us to importance of the layer security, what is the visibility, how to monitor and how to protect, how to get a threat prevention in modern network environments. So the registration of part 2, we have completed the part 1. Now the registration of part 2 is open. This will be a continuation of part 1 to part 2. So what will be the continuation? Whatever attacks we have done, we have seen in the Wireshark, we'll capture everything in the Wireshark, we'll save that part in that Wireshark, we'll keep a file in that and we'll use that file in the part 2 session. At LA Bootcamp is a subsidiary of LA Technologies, a system integrated category into the industry from 23 plus years into data center, cybersecurity, IT infrastructure designing building and servicing. Ellie Bootcamp also trains on similar tools, but we emphasize the most of physical licensed devices in real world implementation and monitoring environment certification program. This also helped us to acquire individual OEM certification like CCNA, CEH, Firewall, and more. We extend an invitation to the offer. Those who would like to come to office, would like to have a career in cybersecurity, DM as well. Be happy to have you. We thank Chetan's and Mrs. Somani College of Commerce and Economics and the faculty for the joint certification. Thank you for your attention. We'd like to thank you to the Vice Principal, Dr. Yomi Fansica, and the HOD of BSc Dr. Sam Reddy. Thank you.